protagonist ran the same way and meaningfully remained silent. He was wildly disappointed and he cursed in his head and thought that this would be his end, and also wondered if he should use the Energizer skill, run a little more and take advantage of the potential explosion. Then Lloyd shook his head and began to dissuade himself from this thought. He gathered his strength and began to run more actively, thinking that he could collapse right before the finish line, because this was a battle for endurance and pace. The sun was shining brightly, scorching the area. The protagonist ran in the heat and was completely dissatisfied. He ran to the northern border of the kingdom, where his opponent was already waiting for him. The centaur looked down on him and said that he wanted to look at his face, but he made him wait too long. He rushed past the running protagonist. He in turn slapped the door and was breathing heavily, and then he ran back with the same terrible face. He raised his head and thought that it made no difference whether it was a stadium or something else. There was no need to choose this method, and wondered how he could take the topo. The hero looked up and thought that he would steal it, because he did not have to solve their problems. But then he remembered the centaur standing in the field. The girl looked away and said that if the traditions of their people were a little different, and if they were born somewhere else, in another world, Shumao could have gone much further. He immediately imagined himself in his past life. The hero bit his lip and became more insistent. He raised his head up and quickly moved his legs, thinking about how unbearable it was. The guy tried to breathe evenly and repeated in his head the phrase that he needed to go to the end and open a new breath. The centaur sat down near a stone to rest. Confusion was visible in his eyes. At this time, the hero was running with all his might across the night expanses and shouting about new breath and that he needed to go all the way. He somehow managed to run past the half-man, who was just getting up from his knees. The four-legged one quickly rushed forward and thought that it was time to open a new breath. But then the old man suddenly ran out of strength. The hero was breathing heavily and was on the verge of death, trying to catch his breath. Dawn caught the horse ass. He was completely running out of strength to run. He moved his hooves one after another, but then he suddenly stumbled. The man slid on his side along the ground for a couple